Fellas, right, so session number 2, this is effectively day 1 of the program because we started late, or the back end of the week last week, so the first session was effectively your day 2 session, so this is your day 1, like we would do at school, in the gym. Oh, just on that note, so your day 2 session this week will be another repeat of that first video that I put out on Wednesday. For you to do. I want you to progress though, so we're not doing 3 sets of 12 now, we're actually going to a 4th set. So 4th set of that A1, A2, A3, Bs, Cs, that's the progression. Have a good crack at that. Those programs are actually really good, albeit I say it myself. So definitely give yourself the time to go through those. You may have your own equipment or be doing your own thing, but I still really highly recommend or encourage you to do these programs, particularly so we know when we come back, I know what you are capable of, which will actually reduce the risk of you being injured, particularly going back into full sport, because I no doubt it'll be hard and fast and you'll be thrown back in. So that's really important that we cover off those bases, which that program gives you. So do that. Right, so do the warm-up, ADP warm-up, do that now, pause the video, do your ADP warm-up, then come back. Then we will go straight into the A series. Here. Cool, so A1 is a hop transition, a forward and back hop. I'll give you an example on my right foot first. So we're hopping, but we're not hopping on the spot, we're actually going forward and backwards. We're using about a 30 centimeter spacing and distancing. So this is what it's going to look like. You're just going forward and back. Nice and controlled, up and back. So I want to do 12 hops on my right, then 12 hops on my left. Don't try and overextend yourself just yet by going further. 30 to 40 centimeters is the right distance for that. It still needs to be controlled. Have a really strong ankle for that. That's the idea. Really key movement for the expression of force, power. Promotes ankle stability, which is huge in injury prevention. So do that one like that. Lateral hurdle, so you will need, or ideally you've got an object to jump over, something that's relatively smallish. Here's my foam roller. If you don't have something to jump over, just use your imagination, that's absolutely fine. So we're going to do some lateral jumping. So I want you to stand on one leg, and then I'm going to transition over onto my left, back to my right, and then left, right, left. So I'm not actually going too high. The idea is I'm trying to expose my ankle to some lateral forces now. We've done the forward and back. Now we're doing lateral. If you can stick those landings really well, then you can start to go a little bit further to the left and a little bit further to the right. But the idea is it's controlled, and so don't overexert your jumping or push too far with that jumping to start with. That's 12, so 6 off each leg. That is A2. Moving on to A3, prone TYI. So we're going to do this lying face down. I think I might have introduced you to do a TYI before. This time we're doing a TYIW. So I will be lying face down, and I'll give you a demo of what that looks like next. But essentially, lying flat. I'm going to take my arms here. I'm going to back extension up to a T, back extension up to a Y, to an I, and then to a W. So side on, or in its full form, it looks like this. So extension up, T, Y, I, W. So there's 4 parts to that, T, Y, I, W. You're making those letters out of your body. Go through 3 times, that'll give you 12 repetitions. That is the A1, A2, A3. So just to recap, A1 is that hop transition, forward and back, 30 centimeters. A2 is the lateral jump. We're probably looking at a spacing of about 1.5 meters, left and right, 6 off each leg for a total of 12. Then A3 is that prone TYIW times 3. Do 3 sets of that. That's A1. Get into it. Cool, so B1, you will need a box or a chair, something that is strong and stable, because I don't want you falling off. Go front on. What I do want though is your, whatever it is, to be the same height as your knees. If it's slightly higher or lower, that's fine, but ideally it's about knee height. So we're going to do a box squat, 2 down, 1 up. So what that means is, so come really close to your box. 2 down and 1 up is indicative of the legs that you're going to be using, or how many legs you're going to use at different parts of the lift. So 2 down, take 1 off, and then stand back up. 2 down, stand back up, 1 up. 2 down, 1 up. And you're going to do 12 on each leg. By all means, if you're really good at that, find something that's a little bit lower. Adding a bit more depth to your squat is going to make it harder, challenge your strength and your coordination in that movement, so you can do that. Otherwise, you can add a small weight and hold it like a goblet, like we did for the goblet squats, but 12 reps is good. You can alternate left and right legs for those lifts, or do the first set on your right, or starting with your right leg, and then you come around to the second set and start with your left leg, but you're going to do 12 on each side. That's important. Right, B2 is a single leg glute bridge, so I know you know this. Nice and easy. So for those that have forgotten, line on your back, one leg up in the air, that stays straight the whole time, and I'm taking my hips as high as I can to the roof. I'm going to pause for a second and control that down. So up, hold for 1, and down. Up, hold for 1, back down, up, hold for 1, back down. Really fire your glutes. Both sides, obviously 12 each side again. That's nice and easy. And we have got a single leg RDL, another one you are familiar with. You can add a little bit of weight to this. You don't need it. If you control the movement slow enough, particularly in that eccentric or lowering portion, you'll get really good glute and hamstring activation, and that'll be enough to prompt the stimulus that we're looking for from this exercise. So just a little recap. I'm going to use my foam roller again for my example. So I'm just going to hold it from 2 ends. I'm going to push my hips back. I'm going to dip at my knees, and then I'm going to extend my left leg, and I'm trying to get really long. The key is I want to get long this way. I'm not looking at taking this to the floor. I want to keep my back flat, so I'm trying to go nice and long, and I'm pushing that back to that wall. And I'm standing up by bringing my hips through. Again, pushing back, chest up, and through. Like I said, if you want to add a small amount of weight, that's cool. Go for it. Don't overload it, because I want that technique to be really sound and solid. If you don't have weight, that's absolutely fine. You will feel your hamstrings pull and fire enough and get the activation that I want in that exercise anyway. 12 each side of that one. So quick recap of the B series: the box squat, 2 legs down, 1 leg back up, single leg glute bridge, and the single leg RDL. 3 sets of 12. That's the B. Right, so I'm going to bring my chair back for C1. So C1 is an incline push-up with leg lift. I may have prescribed this in one of your earlier sessions, or you may have done this with me last year. Anyway, so normal press up, nice and strong, solid, back's flat, not arching or sinking, either way, core's engaged. I'm going to lift my left leg about 20 centimeters off the floor, and I'm going to do a good strong push-up. Take it down, leg lifts up, this time my right, strong push-up. Again, alternate. So when you go down, let's go slow. So 1, 2, 3, and back up. Again, a really good way of firing more muscle units to help you maximize the benefit from that exercise without making or having to add resistance. Really good lift. You have to keep your core engaged, particularly because we're taking one leg off. So you'll need that to help maintain stability and also keep that nice strong plank body form throughout the movement. So what have I got? So I've got 12 plus for those repetitions. If you get to 12 and you feel like that's not enough, add a couple more. 12 to 15 I would say for the rep range, depending on who you are and what your capabilities are. and I'll leave that up to you to dictate that number of reps. C2, bicycle crunch. So on your backs, we've had this in the programming earlier in the year. Key is that we're actually using our core to come up and over, so there's a good twist. So I'm going to go both legs up to start. I'm going to extend my left and then take my left elbow over to my right knee and then change over. So I'm really squeezing, I'm using my core to get up and over to my left knee and then changing over to my left and then to my right. Remember those key tips for engaging your core: sucking your belly button in or bringing your stomach away from the elastic in your shorts, holding it there but still being able to breathe over the top. Really key for all of the exercises. You should be doing this for every movement that you do, and that will engage your deep core muscles, your transverse abdominis, which are hugely important for every sport movement or every single movement. So really think about that when you do that bicycle crunch. Last one is another good core exercise, the bird dog. We have done this before. So all fours, I'm going to stay nice and balanced, so I'm engaging my core already, belly button in, firing those TAs. I'm going to lift my left arm and my right leg at the same time, all the way out, and I'm going to bring them in the middle to touch. All the way out, and in the middle, I'll go side on so you can see. So nice and square, nice and straight, all the way out, and then back in. All the way out, and back to the middle. I'm going to do, sorry, for the bicycle crunch, that was 20 reps. Bird dog, again, 20 reps, so 10 each side. If you need to add repetitions, go for gold. Those are your 3 exercises: the incline push up with the leg lift, the bicycle crunch, and then thirdly, the bird dog. So we have got 12 to 15 reps, 20 reps, 20 reps, 3 sets, C series, get stuck in. Right, and last little volume, or let's just call it muscle endurance hit, is a pike press up for 30 reps. Doing those 30 reps not as quickly as possible with the least number of breaks as possible. So don't cheat through the reps. I still want good strong reps. That's not the idea. It's just a matter of pushing your muscle endurance a little bit further. So a pike press up, for those that don't know, looks something like this. So it's kind of like a yoga downward dog position. So I'm making a V shape with my bum in the air, legs and arms, torso. I'm going straight down, head to the floor and push up. Head down to the floor. Notice my bottom stays high. And I'm going to crank out those reps. 30 repetitions. Hopefully all in one without stopping, but probably not. See how you go, see how quickly you can do those, but don't cut corners with the repetitions, and make sure you maintain that form, so that V shape all the way through those 30 reps. So just a reminder that day 2 this week will be the session that I put out last week, the first session, but go to 4 sets, add a 4th set rather than 3 sets. Good luck. Cheers.